I'll bet you think I'm going to talk about Chris Brown and Rihanna, don't you? You're wrong. But I will say this. I've got a headache bigger than Chris Brown's relief that he's not going to the Bang. It's another episode of DSTV TV Minis. Because some people didn't grasp what we're doing, I feel like I need to make it clear. In the summer, a lot of stuff is going on, so we've condensed the usual DSTV TV to travel size. So we're giving you all different characters. So sometimes you get Amanda, sometimes you may get some other broad. Or dude. I haven't done a guy yet. But let's get to the lecture at hand. Number 1, this week. So I know some people have noticed that there's a lot of icons on Twitter that have green faces, and that's in support of the protests going on in Iran right now against the amazingly fraudulent election. They make George Bush in the election both times look like OJ trying to get his merchandise back. They're just out there, hard body, like, we're taking these elections. We don't care if you all vote. So the people are rising up and saying, we're not gonna have that. Problem is, of course, the government is like, we're not gonna have you rising up. And recently, a young woman was actually shot and killed, and the video of her dying has been all over the internet. I mean, it gives you chills because of the realness of it. And it's not to say that people don't die every day. It's just the fact that she died in the middle of a peaceful protest, and it was for the cause. Once blood is shed in this type of scenario, you get worried that it's the beginning of a much, much, much bigger fight. Perez, Hilton, and Will.I.Am got in a fight? What the blood clot? The way Perez Hilton's story goes is that he was out and he said something to Will.I.Am that made Will.I.Am mad, and that Will.I.Am beat him. I don't know if anybody has seen Will.I.Am, but that guy doesn't look like much of a hitter. I'm just saying. So the way the real story goes, because TMZ, of course, who is everywhere, got the video, is that Perez Hilton, who's all about gay rights, called Will.I.Am a fucking faggot. And of course, Will.I.Am was like, what the fuck? And his bodyguard was like, aboof. So Perez got a clock in the face for getting a little reckless with the mouth. I just hope that he doesn't continue to pursue this whole, like, get Will.I.Am arrested and all kind of bullshit, because the reality is, man, you say some shit like that, you gon' feel it. I'm surprised that Perez Hilton hasn't gotten punched earlier. He has blue hair. Love you, Perez. 3. I love Tupac. Love him. Look. But can we let the man lay to rest? The new company that took over Death Row Records is now releasing another posthumously released album from Tupac Amaru Shakur. Here's my thing. Artists are very picky about our shit. Tupac was definitely picky about his shit. So I know he is in his grave or the Philippines, according to some people, just mad as hell that folks are putting out shit that he is not okaying. We should really just rock with what he wanted us to hear. There's a reason why these tracks weren't put out originally, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he died. So, I'm in Atlanta last weekend, and I end up at Tree Sound Studios. Shout out to the people at Tree Sound Studios. And who walks in other than Weezy F Baby? Now, me and Wayne used to be hella cool, and then he got super famous, man. You know, and he left little people like Amanda Diva behind. So he walks in, and like I was like kind of in the shadows, and so he just kind of nods and keeps it moving. I was like, am I gonna say something? Because normally I won't say shit, but I was like, yo, Weezy, it's been a minute, hasn't it? This nigga stops dead and is like, I know that voice. Turns around and is like, oh shit. So we talk, and I mean, I was very happy to say that, you know, he looks very healthy. He's got to be healthy if he's knocking broads up the way he's knocking them up. What's interesting though about him is that his fronts are not fronts. They're like actual teeth, like platinum teeth. But anyways, it was just really nice seeing him. You know, he's the homie, and he was working, and he was sober. And that was dope to me, because I feel like a lot of cats these days are lost in the sauce. And you know, cocaine is a hell of a drug. And so is scissor, for that matter.